What's up everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's dive right into our first news. Ben Askren has expressed disappointment with Khamzat Chimaev's recent performance, and it's sparking conversations in the MMA world. While many fans viewed Chimaev's victory over Jurgis Duplessis as a dominant display, Askren sees things differently. In a recent interview at the Real American Freestyle event with Helen Yee, Askren shared his perspective, suggesting that Chimaev played it too safe and missed opportunities to fully capitalize on his skills. Chimaev looked great against Duplessis, Askren explained, but I was disappointed that he didn't take more chances. He could take Duplessis down and stay on top, yet he didn't really try to inflict serious damage. It felt like he was holding back. Askren also noted that Chimaev has been discussing moving up in weight again, which he found unusual given that the fighter recently competed at 170 pounds. Askren didn't stop there. He also weighed in on the current welterweight title picture, particularly regarding Kamaru Usman and Islam Makhachev. He believes that rising stars like Ian Gary and Michael Morales are more deserving of title shots than Usman, who, despite his long championship reign, has experienced recent losses. The welterweight belt has changed hands multiple times recently, Askren said. Usman lost to Leon Edwards, Liam lost to Bilal Muhammad, Bilal lost to JDM, and JDM lost to So. It's not like Usman is coming off a fresh victory against the top contender. The newer fighters have earned their opportunities. Askren emphasized that while favoritism sometimes plays a role in MMA title shots, he prefers to see fighters earn them based on merit. I may not be Ian Gary's biggest fan, he admitted, but I truly believe he has earned a title shot. This raises an important question for UFC fans. Should the organization prioritize emerging contenders over established champions for the next title fight? Askren's comments certainly make a strong case for giving the new generation a chance to shine. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Moving on to another news. Footage has emerged of Sean Strickland sparring intensely with Michel Pereira, giving fans a rare glimpse into the preparation behind the scenes. The two fighters were seen exchanging sharp combinations and testing each other's limits, showcasing the high level of skill and intensity that goes into training for the UFC. Strickland, known for his striking precision and mental toughness, appeared fully focused, while Pereira demonstrated his trademark creativity and unorthodox movement. During the sparring session, Strickland shared his thoughts on the unique mentality of Brazilian fighters. "No Brazilians, they will die for nothing, dude," he said, clearly impressed by their determination. "You guys have no idea. You can literally put a Cheeto in the ring, and they will give everything they have for it." Despite the exaggeration, his words reflected deep respect for the heart and resilience that fighters like Pereira bring to the octagon. Strickland emphasized that while the intensity might seem extreme, it's a testament to the discipline and passion inherent in top-level mixed martial artists. He highlighted that the willingness to push through pain and adversity, even in training, is what separates elite fighters from the rest. This sparring session not only allowed both athletes to sharpen their skills but also served as a learning experience, pushing them to adapt under pressure and anticipate unconventional attacks. Fans watching the footage could see the level of commitment required to compete at the highest level of MMA. Strickland's approach combines calculated strategy with relentless pressure, while Pereira's dynamic style tests an opponent's adaptability. Together, they provided a masterclass in preparation and intensity. This rare behind-the-scenes look at Sean Strickland and Michel Pereira reminds fans that the fight game is as much about mental toughness and dedication as it is about physical skill. Their performance in the gym foreshadows the kind of excitement and unpredictability that fans can expect when these athletes step into the cage. Moving on to another news. Ilia Topuria is facing major backlash after a recent video surfaced online, sparking debate among MMA fans. The video shows Topuria spending time with Morab Dvalishvili, looking relaxed and seemingly enjoying himself, despite having announced a break from MMA to focus on personal matters, including his ongoing divorce. While Topuria doesn't appear particularly joyful, the clip suggests he is maintaining some normalcy in his life outside the octagon, which has not sat well with some fans. Many in the MMA community are criticizing Topuria, claiming that his public appearances and social activities contradict his stated reasons for stepping away from fighting. One fan tweeted, "Ducking our men while wearing a custom tracksuit with your name on it is wild." The same fan added that while they initially gave Topuria the benefit of the doubt, seeing him spar, conduct interviews, and drive fast cars, makes it appear as if he is avoiding a fight with Arman Sarukin. Comments like, "We thought he was taking time off to deal with personal issues. Lol. Guess he's ducking Arman. What a loser," reflect the skepticism surrounding his break. However, supporters argue that Topuria's personal life deserves respect and privacy. They emphasize that just because he appears to be enjoying time with friends or engaging in light training, it doesn't mean he isn't dealing with emotional and mental challenges that could impact his performance in the cage. His focus on family and personal well-being should be understood as a legitimate reason for a hiatus, rather than automatically assuming avoidance of fights. Adding to the conversation, Topuria recently posted a video hitting the pads, showcasing crisp technique and precision. This has further fueled discussions about whether his break is truly about personal matters or if he is sidestepping competition. The debate continues. Is Ilia Topuria using his divorce as an excuse, or is he simply protecting his mental focus while navigating a difficult period in his life? Fans remain divided, with opinions flooding social media about the fighter's next move. Moving on to another news, Derek Lewis recently revealed on his new podcast, The Beast and the Cowboy, that a potential matchup with Glory kickboxing champion Rico Verhoeven fell through, sparking discussions about what could have been an exciting clash. Lewis shared that the UFC initially wanted him to face Verhoeven for his next fight at UFC 324. Verhoeven, a 6'5", 265-pound athlete, is widely regarded as one of the most dominant heavyweights in kickboxing history, holding the Glory heavyweight title for 13 consecutive defenses. According to Lewis, the fight never materialized because Verhoeven ultimately declined the offer. "They were talking about something big for me, and I was just supposed to sit and wait," Lewis explained. "It was supposed to be against some guy from Glory, Rico Verhoeven, that's the one, but then he turned the fight down." Following Verhoeven's refusal, UFC officials reportedly attempted to rebook Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich, who famously knocked Lewis out in under a minute in 2023. Lewis explained that Pavlovich also turned down the fight, leaving the UFC to secure a matchup with Waldo Cortez Costa, who ultimately accepted. "It would have been interesting to see the UFC face off Glory's best heavyweight against me on the first card of the Paramount deal, but it didn't happen," Lewis noted. The reasons behind Verhoeven declining the fight remain unclear. It could have been due to the matchup itself, or perhaps contractual and financial disagreements. Verhoeven vacated his Glory title in November after a 12-year reign and has been rumored to be in talks with PFL to potentially face fighters like Francis Ngannou. There's also speculation about a bidding war between the UFC and PFL for his services. As UFC 324 approaches on January 24th, fans are left to wonder how the event will play out. With Derek Lewis set to face Waldo Cortez Costa, the question remains, will the Beast assert his dominance once again, or will Cortez Costa pull off a surprise upset? Fans are invited to weigh in with their predictions in the comments below. Moving on to another news, Jake Paul is once again making headlines, this time hinting at a potential matchup with former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. Appearing on the Impulsive podcast, Paul openly called out Ngannou, sparking speculation about whether the YouTuber-turned-boxer is seriously considering a fight with the powerhouse. While some might question the wisdom of stepping into the ring with a fighter of Ngannou's caliber, Paul appeared confident in his assessment, claiming that he could outperform the former UFC champ. "I told everyone I could do better than Francis, and honestly, I think Francis doesn't have much of a chin," Paul remarked. He even went as far as suggesting that Ngannou is low-key soft, implying that a fight could be more competitive than many expect. The discussion also included talk about the number of rounds Paul would like, with speculation on an 8-round bout against Ngannou. Paul seemed serious but playful, balancing bravado with a sense of strategy, noting that the right matchup could work in his favor. Reflecting on his recent bout against Anthony Joshua, Paul analyzed his performance candidly. "I believe I won 2 rounds in that fight," he explained. "It's not that hard to get beat. I got dropped, but I felt I was doing well until then. The mental pressure and sparring with big guys is different than using 10-ounce gloves, and I definitely felt his power a lot more. But it was a great experience. I learned a lot in there." Despite acknowledging Joshua's strength, Paul emphasized the lessons learned and his growth as a fighter, which could inform his approach against future opponents like Ngannou. As fans speculate whether this fight could ever materialize, Paul's comments underscore his desire to continue challenging himself against elite fighters. While the matchup would undoubtedly be high risk, it also promises high reward in terms of entertainment and publicity. The boxing and MMA communities are left to wonder, is Jake Paul serious about taking on Ngannou next, or is this another bold statement to keep the hype alive? Moving on to another news, Dana White is set to testify in court as part of a new lawsuit involving the UFC, adding another layer to the ongoing legal battles surrounding the organization. Earlier this year, in May, former UFC fighter Misha Sironov filed an antitrust lawsuit against the UFC, challenging certain contractual clauses related to arbitration and class action waivers. Sironov is seeking damages and an order that would invalidate these clauses in both current and future UFC contracts. For context, an arbitration clause combined with a class action waiver is a contract provision that requires disputes to be resolved privately through arbitration rather than in court. This prevents fighters or other parties from joining together in class action lawsuits and forces one-on-one resolution. While such clauses are common in many contracts to limit large-scale litigation, they are controversial because they can restrict consumer rights and limit transparency. According to John Nash, news of Dana White's upcoming testimony was recently revealed on Twitter. A spoliation hearing for the case has been scheduled for February 4th and 5th, 2026 at 9 a.m., where Dana White will testify first, followed by Tracy Long. Many might wonder what a spoliation hearing entails. Simply put, it is a legal proceeding that addresses the destruction, alteration, or failure to preserve evidence relevant to a case. If a party has mishandled evidence, the court may impose sanctions, which can include monetary fines, adverse jury instructions, striking of improper defenses, or in extreme cases, dismissal of the case. While it is not yet clear who is considered the spoiler or responsible party in this situation, the upcoming hearing will likely shed light on these details. Dana White's testimony could play a significant role in the proceedings, given his position within the UFC and knowledge of the organization's contractual practices. Fans and legal observers alike will be watching closely, and updates will follow as the case develops during and after the hearing. Moving on to another news, Joe Rogan has issued a stark warning to Jake Paul regarding the potential long-term consequences of his boxing career. Following Jake Paul's recent bout against Anthony Joshua, which drew a staggering 33 million live viewers on Netflix, Rogan spoke candidly about the risks associated with staying in combat sports for too long. To put it in perspective, the Paul-Joshua fight was watched almost as widely as the massive Canelo vs. Crawford matchup, which attracted 41.4 million viewers. Despite the hype and public fascination, Rogan emphasized that the potential cost to Paul's health far outweighs the glamour of the sport. On his podcast with Tom Segura, Rogan addressed the dangers that boxers face, particularly regarding mental and neurological health. He warned that continuing to fight could lead to severe consequences, saying, "Don't do this very long because there's a price that you pay that is not worth it. That price is deep depression, severe brain imbalance, and addiction." So many fighters struggle with impulsive behavior, gambling addiction, alcoholism, and other destructive patterns after their careers are over. Rogan also highlighted the cumulative effect of repeated trauma to the brain. Referring to Paul's fight with Joshua, he explained that each significant blow has lasting consequences. "You only have so many punches you can take in life," Rogan noted. That punch from Joshua was a lot real damage. Breaking your jaw in two places doesn't just affect the jaw, there's serious internal damage going on in the brain as well. The warning serves as a sobering reminder that while boxing and combat sports are thrilling and lucrative, they come with significant risks. Rogan's message underscores the importance of prioritizing long-term health over short-term fame and financial gain. For Jake Paul, it may be a crucial moment to consider the longevity of his career and the potential consequences that lie ahead.